Hi everyone, welcome to today's activity challenge. Today's activity challenge is called Bop It Part 2. Now last week we did Bop It and we were using, remember, the underhand movement pattern to strike a ball upward in an upward fashion. And remember our contact point was always parallel. So that was a lead into what we're doing today, working on one of your second grade standards. The standard we're working on today is consistently strike a balloon in an upward fashion with a short-handled paddle or racket. Now this is my racquetball racket. You're probably not going to have one of these at home, but even if you do, not a safe thing to play with inside the house because these are pretty hard. You could hurt somebody or yourself or break something. So instead, we're going to use an alternative. So something that most of you should have laying around the house somewhere are either a paper plate or this one's a plastic disposable plate. Now make sure you're using a disposable plate, meaning we can get rid of it when we're done, unless you ask for your parents' permission first. If they have a plastic plate that you can use for this, that they don't mind, that you can wash afterwards, you can use that. All right, so it's similar to Bop It, just like we did last week. I'm going to be using the plastic plate. This one works a little bit better, I think. And also notice you can use either side. And you can flip it this way and use the back side, or you can flip it this way and use the front side. Now, either way, there's going to be some little issues. If you're using a racket, you always want to strike in the middle of the racket. Same thing on the plate. You're going to want to strike it in the middle of the plate. If you strike towards the edges, you're going to have some problems. All right, now we're going to be using a balloon to start off with. So just like last week, you'll need one balloon just with the air in your lungs so it will come down. Now, any of the items that I have, boys and girls, you're always going to be able to find at a grocery store or at Walmart and shouldn't be too expensive. So if you don't have one, you can get one, or you can have your parents get one for you, hopefully on their next trip to the grocery store. Now, if you don't have a balloon and they don't want to get you one, that's fine. I have other things that you could also use. Now, remember, your standard, though, is the balloon. This is a second grade standard. But after that, we do want to make it more challenging, too, because not only do we want to meet the standards, we want to exceed the standards. You don't want to just be average. You want to be great. Every day is a chance to get even better, to challenge yourself. So some of these other items will be more challenging, but also more fun as you master this one. So this is a type of Nerf ball. So they're soft and squishy. I have two different types here. Yeah, I also have a ping pong ball, which again, you can get at the grocery store. You can get a bag of 3 of these for about $1.99. And if you don't have one of those, crumple up a piece of paper. You can use a paper ball. And this is my super paper ball. All I did to make this one was crumple a piece of paper, and then I wrapped a little bit of painter's tape around it, and that will help it hold together a little bit better. All right, so those are the items I have. And the area I'm going to be using, just like last week in Bop It, will be my exercise mats here. Now, if you don't have the exercise mats, again, lay out a couple beach towels, a big giant blanket, or spread some socks around and make yourself a circle or a square, and that's your area. All right, here we go. Okay, so starting with the balloon. Now remember, to start, we're going to do just a little underhand toss, but this time we're going to be holding the plate in our dominant hand. Remember, the dominant hand is the one that you brush your teeth with, write your name with, the one you're stronger with. So the racket, or the plate in this case, is going to go in that hand. So you're going to need to use your opposite hand to just give a little toss to the balloon to get it started. So here we go, and just like in Bop It, we're just going to count. Remember, parallel to the ground, move your feet so you can keep the balloon in front of you. You don't want it to go behind you, and you don't want it to go forward. So remember, to stay in Bop It, you have to stay in your area. It's best if you can not move around, but you're likely going to have to move a little bit. So again, move your feet, control it. I'm using soft touches right now. I don't want to strike it too hard. I just want to keep it going upward, right in front of me. And again, count your strikes. If you can get to about 25 or 30, that's going to be a time to try and move on to something more challenging. Now for me, again, the balloon is pretty easy. I'm a little more advanced in second grade, so I'm going to move on to the next challenge. But again, pay close attention to where I'm striking, and when we move to the ball, we're just going to keep the same concept in mind. Soft touches, control, strike in an upward fashion, contact point is parallel to the ground, right about here. Okay, that's where you want to strike it to keep it going upward. Not here, that's going to go forward like that one did, or here it's going to go behind you. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next one now. Now, I won't have time on the video to show you all the different items, so I'm just going to use this one. This is one of my Nerf type balls. Again, a soft, squishy, light ball, and we'll see how I do with that one. So I'm going to start it the same way. I have my racket ready, my blade. I'm going to toss it with the opposite hand in an upward fashion, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, and I'm going to go ahead and stop there. I think you can tell I could have kept going, but I don't want you to just see how well I can do this. Again, concepts are what we're working on. Contact point parallel to the ground, upward fashion. See how good you can get at Bop It Part 2. Again, pick different types of balls that you can use. Pick different challenges. Try different paddles. So try a plastic plate, try a paper plate if you have both types. Maybe get a clipboard or some folders. Try different apparatus, different implements, and see how well you can do. All right, everybody, that was Bop It Part 2. Hope you had a good time. I'm going to see you in the next section.